This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Gitske. We begin with an incredibly busy night for firefighters as crews battled 4 separate structure fires. One of those fires, a massive inferno in northeast Bakersfield. The intense flames consuming at least one building near 30th and Q Streets. A reporter who saw the blaze says he saw at least one building and trailer on fire. There's no word on whether it was a home or if anyone was hurt. We're still waiting for information from fire crews, and we will update this story as soon as we learn more. This morning, an old restaurant went up in flames. This was the old El Fagon restaurant and bakery on East Brundage Lane. Bakersfield fire say crews arrived around 2 a.m. to a fully involved fire. Crews used the ladder engine to attack from the top with hand lines on the ground. Arson investigators have been called in to investigate. Luckily, no one was injured in this fire. Now, a couple hours later, another building went up in flames. The fire broke out around 6:30 this morning on South Chester Avenue. Now, we've reached out to Bakersfield Fire for more information, but have yet to hear back as of news time. Fire erupted right around 9 this morning. According to BFD, they were on their way to another call when they saw a mobile home on fire in the area of East Truxton Avenue and Tulare Street. The fire spread to a storage unit along with some other items on the property. It took crews roughly 10 minutes to knock down the blaze. Arson investigators have been called in. BFD says no one was inside at the time. Meantime, the last few days have shown us we are in the thick of wildfire season, with new brush fires breaking out almost daily. Another fire broke out last night in Tehachapi. The fire was reported just before 8:30 p.m. off Highway 58 near Woodford Tehachapi Road. Firefighters could be seen working to contain the blaze near the loop, and it appears that they have since gotten it under control. It's not immediately clear how many acres have been burned. Now to the latest on the so-called peak fire that continues to burn out of control. It has grown to 2,000 acres and is just 10% contained. It's south of Lake Isabella between Walker Basin and Paiute Mountain Road. The fire is burning in a rural part of Kern, making it difficult for firefighters to battle the flames, but crews are still scrambling to protect ranches and homes. Firefighters say the blaze grew out of control yesterday, and conditions were ideal for the fire to spread, with dry brush, winds, and temperatures in the triple digits. Even though the wind is tucked away, that wildfire is tucked away in the mountains, the smoke is funneling into the valley, giving us poor air quality and hazy skies. Evacuation warnings still remain in place for residents near the fire. Firefighters say everyone needs to be prepared for the next wildfire because the worst of the fire season is still months away. Meantime, today marks 1 year since Deborah Ann Janot was fatally killed in a hit-and-run crash. In July 2020, the 65-year-old mother and grandmother was killed in a crash caused by a hit-and-run driver on Stockdale Highway. Court documents say Bakersfield police officer Chad Ott noticed a small white decal on the suspect's windshield. He learned the decals were standard on all cars sold from CarMax. He then matched the location of a cell phone with the path the suspect's car traveled and learned the subscriber from the phone was suspect Stephanie Henninger. Ott confirmed Henninger was the alleged driver after combing through those CarMax records. Now, Janot's family is saying that loss still hurts every day, and not a day goes by without thinking of Deborah.
Just knowing that my family will never be able to have another Christmas with my mom and the other people that were involved in the accident, they get to continue on.
Debbie's daughter, Dawn, and Dawn's husband, Joe, have since founded a nonprofit called Helping Hit-and-Run Tragedies. Given the acronym HEART, their mission is to assist law enforcement agencies and families directly impacted by hit-and-runs. Meantime, a mother whose 2 children were shot in Arvin last weekend is remembering her daughter and praying for the recovery of her son. Last night, dozens of people gathered outside the home of Lillian and Christian Jimenez, where the shooting happened last Saturday night. Now, 10-year-old Lillian was killed. 12-year-old Christian and their father were wounded when someone drove up and opened fire. A rosary was held last night for the family as police continue to search for that shooter. The children's mother reflecting on her loss.
She always made everyone smile some way, somehow. She always had a smile on her face. She was a happy little girl. And my son, same way, he's very cheerful. They made each other's day pretty much because they only had they had each other.
Police say the suspects are described as two boys under the age of 18. If you know anything about this case that could lead police to the killers, call Arvin Police at 854-5583 or the Current Secret Witness Hotline, where you can remain anonymous at 322-4040. Well, yesterday marked 7 months since two California City boys were reported missing. Orson and Orrin West were reported missing December 21st, and police have yet to find them. The boys' biological cousins say even after the time that has passed, they have yet to give up hope.
We still here, letting them know we still on this case. Yeah. We haven't shut our mouth. It ain't got quiet. These are babies that didn't deserve what happened to them.
On the 21st of every month, family members of the boys hold a prayer vigil outside the Bakersfield Police Department on Truxtun Avenue. Now, the reward for finding the boys is currently set at $125,000. If you have any information, you're asked to call the Secret Witness Hotline at 322-4040. Now to a heartless crime and the question, who let out the dogs? The search continues today for a handful of dogs let loose at the Bakersfield Animal Care Center. According to the shelter, someone broke into the facility Wednesday morning and let over 20 pups loose. The shelter continues to search for 6 dogs at this time. If you've seen the pups, you're requested to contact the Bakersfield Animal Control. And we now know the name of the man killed in a multi-vehicle crash earlier this month. According to California Highway Patrol, a Ford was heading southbound on Highway 99 in the construction bypass lane, stopped for traffic while a Toyota and Honda that were behind the vehicle were slowing due to that stopped traffic. 72-year-old Vargas Emmerich Arcalivan failed to slow down for that stopped traffic ahead and struck the rear of the Honda. That caused a chain reaction and resulted in the 72-year-old who died at the scene. All right, time now at 12:07 and taking a look around town. The Bakersfield Museum of Art is inviting you to spend the evening with one of the artists on display at the museum. Artist and educator Art Sherwin will discuss his exhibit, Uncommon Perspective. He will also discuss his techniques, processes, and styles. The lecture is tonight from 6 to 7 at the Bakersfield Museum of Art. Tickets are $10 at the door. Members get in free. Also happening tonight, you can catch another free concert. Concerts by the Fountain is back this evening. The concerts are free and will happen every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. in July and August. Tonight, live music will be coming at you with a twist of flavor and soul with the Acoustics. Next week is jazz music with the J. Smith Group. For a full list of performers, head to our website, kget.com, and click on the hot link icon. And speaking of music, the East High Theater Department is holding their first live performance in more than a year. Students are performing the musical Little Shop of Horrors, a comedy about a plant that grows to a gigantic size. It's happening today at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Tickets are $10 at the door, with proceeds going toward that theater program.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
Well, Kern County Cooling Center program is making changes to how the local cooling centers operate. The cooling center in Frazier Park will now open when temperatures are forecasted to be 93 degrees or higher, and they will send out a notice by 11 a.m. the day before a cooling center is set to open. You can find a list of local cooling centers and the times they are open on our website, kget.com. In your 17 Business Watch, unemployment applications jumped unexpectedly last week. Initial filings for unemployment insurance hit 419,000. That's well above the 350,000 economists were expecting. It's a tick up after hitting a pandemic era low the previous week, and despite most signs pointing to a strengthening economy, the total number of individuals on some form of unemployment assistance remains historically high at about 12.5 million. Well, Dutch Bros is set to reopen next week after one of its employees tested positive for COVID-19. It happened at the California Avenue location. The company says it advised the employee to self-isolate and follow state and local mandates. Locations shut their doors for a deep cleaning. Dutch Bros says the closure wasn't recommended by public health, but they're being extra cautious. According to the company, the store will reopen on Monday after closing its location this week. The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.